There is one detail in this painting that almost everyone walks past. Not the angel, not Mary, not the golden halos. It is this thin line of words at the bottom, a sentence so small that in most reproductions it almost disappears. But in the convent of San Marco, this line was placed almost at eye level. It was not decoration, it was an instruction. And the strange question is this: why would Fra Angelico paint one of the quietest annunciations in history, and then add a warning telling the viewer not to stay silent? At first, the scene feels peaceful. Gabriel bends forward. Mary lowers her eyes. Their hands echo each other, crossed over the chest, as if the whole world has paused before a single answer. There is no dramatic thunder, no crowded room, no luxury objects. Fra Angelico removes almost everything that could distract us. But this is only the beginning. Look at the bottom again. The Latin inscription says, in essence, when you pass before the image of the untouched Virgin, be careful not to fail to say avenue. In other words, do not just look, respond. That changes the painting completely. Most annunciations show the moment when Gabriel greets Mary, but here, the greeting is not trapped inside the scene. It leaks out of the painting and reaches the person walking by. The angel says Ave to Mary. The inscription asks you to say Ave too. Suddenly, the viewer is not outside the image anymore. To understand why, we need to imagine where this fresco was first seen. Not in a museum, not in a palace. It stood at the top of a staircase in the Dominican convent of San Marco in Florence, near the friars' cells. A monk climbing the stairs would meet this image again and again, morning, evening, in silence, in low light. And every time, the sentence at the bottom would stop him. But the most important clue is not where you expect it. Fra Angelico was not painting for casual visitors. He was painting for people trained to repeat prayers, meditate, and read images slowly. For them, a fresco could work almost like a doorway into devotion. So the inscription is not a caption, it is a trigger. It turns the corridor into a ritual space. Now, look again at the architecture. The arches are calm. The columns divide the scene. Gabriel remains on one side. Mary sits on the other. Between them is a quiet emptiness. This is where the painting changes. The real action is not physical. It is a spoken greeting, a word crossing invisible space. Avenue. That single word begins the Annunciation, and Fra Angelico places the same word beneath the scene, waiting for the viewer to complete it. But there is another version of the meaning. Some viewers may see the inscription as a simple devotional reminder. A monk passes, says the Hail Mary, and continues. That reading fits the convent perfectly. But another interpretation is more unsettling. The sentence almost warns the viewer. If you pass this image without speaking, something has gone wrong. Silence becomes failure. The painting is beautiful, but beauty is not enough. You must participate, and this makes the tiny inscription more powerful than the halos or the wings. The wings dazzle us, the blue mantle draws the eye, but the words at the bottom control what we are supposed to do. They make the painting active. There is a hidden tension here. The figures are still, but the viewer is being moved. Mary listens. Gabriel speaks. The monk answers. 3 moments become one, and the more you look, the stranger it feels. The image shows the beginning of the incarnation, the moment when the divine message enters the human world. But the fresco also asks a human voice to enter the painting's world. The sacred event is not just represented, it is repeated. This may explain the unusual silence of the whole composition. Fra Angelico does not need drama, because the real drama happens in the viewer's response. The garden outside, the pale wall, the simple bench, the empty floor, all of it creates space for one act, the spoken avenue. Look at this again. The inscription is physically below the holy scene, almost like a threshold. Above it, heaven speaks to earth. Below it, the viewer is invited to speak back. And this small line may explain why the painting feels so alive, even though almost nothing moves. It is waiting. It waits for the next person to climb the stairs. It waits for the next glance. It waits for the next word. That is why this detail changes everything about the Annunciation. Without the inscription, we are watching Gabriel greet Mary. With it, Fra Angelico quietly turns us into part of the greeting. So, the final mystery is not what the angel says. It is what the viewer does. Was this tiny sentence simply a reminder for monks? Or did Fra Angelico hide the real center of the painting in the one place most of us never look? And if you were standing in that corridor, would you pass in silence?